You know what? I'm pissed off. American people are getting screwed by the big banks. And I am getting madder and madder.
It's unbelievable.
Then this guy walks into my office and says,
there's some shady stuff going down.
All the banks were having a big old party. A few outsiders saw it when no one else could. The whole world economy might collapse.
First, I'm going to start by saying congratulations on the movie. It is fantastic.
Thank you, man. So glad you enjoyed it.
Without a doubt. When you think back on the making of the movie, is there a day or two that you're always going to remember?
Yeah, there was one day where the Steve Carell and his front point guys cross past Brad Pitt and the two young guys, and then Ryan comes from across the other side. So it was the one day where we kind of had everyone on set except for Bale. And it was this big giant hall, so we had like 350 extras. We're shooting with like 4 cameras, and then you just have these giant movie stars everywhere. And some of their wives show up to say hi, so then like all of a sudden you're like, on the set and Angelina Jolie's walking at you saying hi, and like, that was the one day where I was like, this is approaching big time. Yeah. So that was a crazy day. But then I will remember other days where I just remember leaving like, wow, I think we shot a great scene, like in a way that I've never shot a great scene, with Barry Ackroyd shooting. And I remember when Carell yells at the guy in the restaurant, all his guys, not to sell, when he really screams at them. That was a loaded scene. You could feel the mood on the set. And I just thought Barry shot it beautifully. And I remember leaving that going like, this movie could work. That was really good.
I think it did come together.
Yeah.
How long was your first cut versus the final release?
Oh, it was the greatest day ever, because I was like, please don't tell me the first cut is 3.5 hours long. First cut was, I can tell you the exact number, 2:34.
Now, was that
and I was like, praise Hosanna. That is a great number.
Well, was that a cut that you would be happy showing? Was that like an assembly cut?
This was the assembly. Well, here's the other trick with my editor, Hank Corwin. Hank Corwin is so good that his assembly cut is kind of really like a second or third cut. I mean, the guy is a master. So even though it was an assembly, it was long, it was a little messy, there were whole chunks of it that were working right off the bat. I was like, this is the best assembly I've ever seen. So then he and I hunkered down for the next 2 weeks, and we got the movie to like 2:20 and put it up in front of an audience, and it was already working right away. The movie's 2:03 now, so we cut a lot more. But yeah, I'd never seen a movie like take shape that quickly, where right out of the gate, elements were working like that.
You've definitely done like a lot of deleted scenes on Blu-rays and extended. And is this the kind of movie that you would do a longer cut of, or is this the movie right now that you're like, this is it?
This is it. This is it. This is the movie I like. I mean, we put some cut scenes, will be available. There's some really good scenes that we cut, but I would never want to see them in the context of the movie. They didn't work. There was just certain sections got too long, but there's a couple great scenes that we shot. It just, once again, they wouldn't work.
I feel like, and as a fan of yours and someone who follows you on Twitter, and I feel like this is like the movie that you've been building towards for like 8 years now, like constantly with what you talk about on Twitter and your stance on things. Was this sort of like when you got this, were you like, I can't believe I'm going to be directing this? This is like...
Yeah, exactly. No, this is, I say there's 2 books I think that typify our times right now, the past 10 or 15 years. I think it's Scheitengard's Super Sad True Love Story, I think, is a masterpiece. And then I think The Big Short. I think those, by the way, there's probably 5 other books, but for me, those are the 2. So when this book that I think just explains everything that's going on in America, beyond even banking, just culturally how we see the world, when it fell into my lap, I just couldn't believe it. I mean, every morning I would get up to write this script, and I was writing it on my own, which sometimes is harder. And I would just skip into my office to go write it. I had the best time working on this script.
One of the things I think that's genius about the movie is the way you're able to balance these dramatic scenes with the levity. You insert this humor with, and I don't want to give away these scenes, but let's just say that you're able to insert this humor. Where did you realize, or when did you realize you wanted to do that, and were you nervous it wasn't going to work with the tone, or, you know?
We never really sought out funny moments. We let them happen, but like there was never any moment where I was like, I want to joke here, or I want to laugh here. It was just that like, if it was going to be funny, let it be funny, but never ever push. But I think it was informed by the book. I loved that the book had all these different tones, that there was the funny section about the president of AIG yelling at people because they left the weights off the weight rack. And I remember reading the book and laughing, and then at the same time going, oh my God, we're all gonna die. It has this weird combination, which I think is kind of how life is. And especially if you're talking about a bubble, an economic bubble, there tends to be fun times before it gets popped, So I did always see the movie as two movies. I saw it as sort of a card counting 21, we're gonna beat the casinos part. And then the second part was they realized, oh wait, the casinos are us, and everything broadened.
My last thing, because I'm just going to push one more time. Originally this was going to come out next year, and I heard you debating what festival to go to. When Paramount calls you after they see the movie and they're like, "What about this year?" Are you like, "Get the F out of here," or you're like, "Oh, we can do it"?
I was pushing for it. I was the one saying you should do it this year. So I invited them to an early screening. And everyone's like, you should not invite the studio to a screening this early. It's only your third cut. And I go, I'm telling you, I think we can come out now. I think we have this. And I just wasn't seeing any holes. I wasn't seeing anything I needed reshoots on, and I was very happy with what I had. So sure enough, Brad Gray, Mark Evans, Rob Moore all showed up. We recruited a big crowd. I was like, am I a crazy man? And afterwards they came up and they're like, you're right. We should get this out. Because I really wanted it to happen. I mean, the economy is always teetering. There's always weird stuff going on. If you wait another year, who knows? This could become a historic movie, like a little slice of life movie. I just felt like this is a movie about right now. Let's get it out, especially because we weren't going to compromise anything. We felt good about the movie.
Thank you so much for your time, man. Congratulations.
My pleasure, man.
Hey guys, if you like this video, click the thumbs up button. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'll help you stay up to date with everything we've got going on here at Collider.